Now, good morning, students of class 6. Okay, now today we're going to start with the explanation of the story, Baby's Ears. Okay, I think you have gone through the chapter. Maybe you have some sort of an idea what the story is about. Okay, so you listen carefully to today's explanation. And if you have any questions, like I always say, leave in your questions in the comment box. Okay, now here the story starts with the conversation between the mother and the daughter. Now here you can see the mother is pouring orange juice, and what is the daughter doing? She's already poured this syrup in her toes and she's enjoying her toes. Now here mom, okay, she told her daughter, she said that she was really worried about her own mother. Okay, that means her mother and her grandmother. Now why do you think they were worried? Why? Because now both of them, okay, right now they are living in Florida. Even the grandmother was living in Florida. Okay, but they did not live together. They live in two separate houses. You understand? Now the mother said that before she moved to Florida, what happened? They had a conversation. Okay, before grandmother moved to Florida, now she was very different. She would get up early in the morning. She would make pancakes. Okay, but now when they are in Florida, grandmother changed her ways. She sleeps most of the time. She loves to watch television. She does not go out of her house. Okay, and she does not make any friends. So here mother said that grandmother was even thinking of going back to New York. You understand? So here the daughter, she was very upset. She said, why does she want to go back to New York? If she goes back to New York, what would happen? Grandmother would have to live in a nursing home. Okay? What is a nursing home? A nursing home is a place where old people live and nurses take care of them. Now you can see in this line, which I want you to underline. Okay? Underline the word nursing home, and then you underline a place where old people live and nurses take care of them. You understand? Now here, okay, as they were speaking to each other, now this girl, okay, the granddaughter, she felt very bad for her grandmother. She said, I don't want my grandmother to live in a nursing home. Okay, to me, a nursing home sounds like a hospital. You understand? So she said, I'm going to find a way to make grandmother live here with us in Florida. So the mother smiled and she said, I wish you could. Okay, so this is the first half of the story. Now let's go to the next page. Now in the next page you'll find a picture of grandmother. What is grandmother doing? She's watching television. So after school, okay, after the girl came from school, she went to her grandmother's house. Here she found that her grandmother was watching television and she sat in her couch all day. You understand? So as she went up to her room, okay, what did she do? She sat on her bed and took out her seashell collection. Now she found, please underline the line, this line, important line. I had found striped whelks, purple sea snails, and even a queen conch shell. Okay, now striped whelks, purple sea snails, and queen conch shell, these are the different kinds of shells which you get near the beach. It seems here that this girl, okay, what was her collection? Her collection was to collect the different kinds of seashell that she could find. Okay, now you can hold a conch shell up to your ear and actually hear the ocean seas. So here she's giving us a little information. Okay, she says that if you hold a conch shell, which I want you to look up. What is a conch shell? Okay, you can just go through the internet and you'll find what is a conch shell is. You'll see that if you hold one of the conch shell in your ear, what happens? You can hear the waves in the ocean. Okay, but here her favorite shell was called a baby's ear. Okay, this is a baby's ear. Okay, it's a beautiful white shell shape, just like an ear of a baby, all swirly and delicate. So the girl's favorite shell is called baby's ear. Now we understand why the name of the story is called baby's ear. Okay, now why is it called baby's ear? Now when you look at the design of the shell, it looks like the shape. Okay, it takes the shape of a baby's ear. You understand? Now as she looked at her seashells, okay, it gave her an idea. Now the next thing she did, she went to the living room, she sat on the couch, okay, and she started talking to her grandmother. She asked her grandmother, she said, did you ever go to the beach when you were little, Grandma? Okay. She said, once my mother took me, but I didn't enjoy at all. She said, frowning. Really? I took an oatmeal cookie from the plate on the coffee table. Why not? So as she was asking her grandmother, Grandma, when you were a small girl, did you ever go to the beach? Okay. Did you ever collect shells? As she was speaking this, there was a table. There's another table here. Okay. So she took some cookies from the table and she started talking again with her grandmother. Now grandmother here then explained that she is afraid of the water and she can't swim. Okay. Now grandma started frowning. Even when you look at the picture, you can see that grandma was not happy. Okay. Now she wished that grandma could feel the way she did about the beach. Now here she says, I love to see the pelicans flying over the water. And once I even saw a huge iguana. So here this girl, her name is Val. Okay. Now this girl's name is Val. This is the mother and this is the grandmother. Remember the name. So Val, as she was speaking to her grandmom, okay, she told her grandmother that she loved to go to the beach while the first thing is to see the pelicans fly. Pelicans is a large bird. Okay. And she even saw a huge iguana. Iguana is what? Iguana is a grey lizard. Okay. So she said, well, I was wondering, Grandma, if you could take me to the beach, please. I need some new shells for my collection. Now her grandmother didn't even look away from the TV. Okay, she said, I'm watching my show, Val. Can't you go by yourself? No, I'm not allowed to go to the beach by myself. Please, I beg. Imagining grandma in a nursing home. Okay, so here Val, she was, trying to persuade her grandmother to go with her to the beach and collect some shells. Okay, now grandmother, she didn't want to go. She said, no, I'm watching my favorite show. She was giving excuses. She was making excuses. Okay, but here Valerie, what did she think? Val here, she remembered that if she didn't persuade her grandmother to go out of the house, her grandmom might go back to New York. You understand? Then after, begging and persuading her grandmother, finally her grandma said, okay, let's go. So she held her hand and they both left the house and walked to the beach. Now the sun was very hot that day. Okay? Grandmother, she was holding a plastic bag, trying to find some seashells for her granddaughter. Then her granddaughter said, okay, she said, okay, Grandma, you take this plastic bag, try to find shells. Let me go further and see if I can get some beautiful shells for my collection. Okay? So here now, as grandmother was standing on the beach, she could feel the soft breeze over her face. Okay, her grey curls were flying because of the wind. And then after that, as they were walking side by side up to the beach, okay, they were trying to look for the most beautiful shell. Now let's go to the next page. You can see here in the picture, okay, Val is with her grandmother. Her grandmother was holding a plastic bag. So let me go to the story. Now what happened here? Now as they were both enjoying their time on the beach, okay, now Val here, she said, Grandma, I will walk further to find if I can find some new shells. You walk behind me and try to search for shells around the beach. Okay. Now before Grandma did anything, she just stood here and she looked towards the water, the ocean. She saw the seagulls, okay, how they flew over the water searching for fish. She took off her shoes and she carried them on her hand. Okay. So Val, she ran ahead, okay, and what did she do? She slipped a pink Triton shell from her pocket. So here Val, what did Val do? She carried shells on her pocket. She kept them in her pocket. As she was walking further from grandmother, she started dropping these beautiful shells one after the other. You understand? Why did she do this? She did this so that her grandmother could find these shells and finally enjoy the beach. You understand? That was the motive this girl tried, okay, in order to make her grandmother stay back in Florida. Okay, so as she did that, okay, she did the same with the blue starfish, the green serpent star, and finally she dropped her favorite shell, the baby's ear. Just then, as grandmother started walking towards the beach, she said, Val, come here, look what I found. I'm holding up a pink Triton. So Val came running towards her grandmother and she said, oh grandma, you finally found such a pretty shell. It would look very good in my collection. So grandma started smiling and nodding and she was enjoying her time on the beach. Okay. So after that, grandmother found the blue starfish, okay, and then all the different shells that Val had already dropped them on the beach. Do you understand? And so here Val, she said, Grandma, you're so good in finding shells. Wow. Grandmother was so proud at what she had found. Okay. And so lastly, grandmother found her favorite shell, that is baby's ear. Okay. So she gave it to Val and Val said, Grandma, this is my favorite shell. It's called a baby's ear because it looks like the ear of a baby. So here even grandma was saying, Val, you're pretty good at yourself too. So they went home, okay. So what happened now? Grandmother was so proud at what she had found on the beach and she really enjoyed her day with Val. So as they came back, they walked back home, okay. Grandmother seemed to have forgotten her fear of water. So after that, Val met her mum as her mother was sitting on the front porch of the house. Okay, she told her mother, we've been to the beach. Okay, grandmother was speaking to Val's mother. She said, we have come from the beach. And so Val said, I think I'll have a shell collection of my own. You can help me, Val. Okay, grandma said. So here it seems that grandmother also wanted to collect shells just the way Val did. He said, okay, grandma. Okay, and Mum and Valerie, they both smiled at each other. They knew that Valerie finally persuaded her mother to stay back in Florida. So that's the end of the story. Okay, I hope you have understand the story. Now in the next class, I will give you question answers, which I want you to do. copy them in your exercise, and after you finish, you can just take a picture of your answers and send it to me. Okay, so thank you, my dear students, and have a great day ahead of you.